Now, the word rare can be defined as something that is scarce or lacking abundance, and while that's the same thing as saying grass is green, this can be definitely applied to some instruments so niche that you think it's a kinda chalice topic. While instruments can be defined as any device created to generate musical sounds, I would like to argue that you trying to sing in the shower doesn't count. Now, with the 4 families of instruments, the following list falls mainly in 2 families, string and percussion. Now, what sets these instruments apart is not only the old and complex history behind each one, but the lack of numbers even created or will ever be sold in the future, because some of these instruments were experimental, and let's just say, I want a hit of whatever they were smoking when they made these. Le Crystal Bachet. Developed in 1952 by 2 brothers Bernard and François Bachet, this instrument was pretty big, about the size of an adult male. Now, the instrument is made up of metal and glass rods, and to play this, you no joke have to get it wet before stroking it at the equilibrium point, so it makes a noise. That sounds like what my girlfriend does. Anyways, before my parents start knocking on my door, let me tell you that it was originally used in various fields such as dance performances, theater, and jazz, and whatever else they were interested in the 50s. And while the instrument itself isn't officially discontinued, the sheer price of it in the thousands, combined with the unique playing style, can almost be not found in any household other than probably collectors. The tongue drum. The tongue drum, which is also known as the tank drum, is a contemporary instrument that's found in the percussion family. Now, it consists of a single block of metal or wood with tongues that are cut into the material. Now, contrary to its name, you don't actually lick it like you do with your girlfriend's toes. The drum is actually played either with your fingers or soft mallets, and is used for a variety of reasons due to its melodious sound, including meditation and relaxation. Either that, or just put on some togi.
Oh my god!
The guitar harp. Now, have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a small Asian child and be pushed to be either a doctor or a lawyer? Why not be both? The guitar harp is a happy marriage. Okay, maybe divorce marriage of characteristics. You ever dislike carrying guitar? Well, now you'll hate it even more. The harp part of the instrument is Drake's third leg growing out from the side that offers an extended scale or just versatility altogether. However, this instrument is relatively much rarer than a guitar, and the definition of you're doing too much. Fujahara. Now, while sounding like a Japanese dish, this Slavic instrument has 3 holes. And what else has 3 holes? I just said, the Fujahara. Now, it has the distinguishing feature of my dad, being extremely rare and extremely long, about 160 to 200 centimeters in length, and look like you're having a smoke with Snoop Dogg. Now, this oversized and overtoned flute is primarily used by shepherds, and usually is recognized from its rich sound and fucking 2-meter long frame. Now, Slavic folks also use this instrument to accompany their traditional dances and songs, but unfortunately it became rare due to the intense process of handcrafting a 2-meter fucking long pole. Now, there were long periods of social and political change that led to the rapid decline of the instrument in practice, but UNESCO has finally gave recognition to Wembenyama's joint. Dantree. Created by a Vietnamese refugee Minh Tam Nguyen, this instrument is so rare that there are only 2 copies in existence, beating out the 1 copy of my dad who left me. Now, the Dantree is a bamboo handcrafted string instrument that he undoubtedly was trying to ambush the Americans with, but realized halfway through, hey, this makes a nice sound, I'm gonna save this one for later. Now, inspired by the guitar and zither, the bamboo tube had 23 strings strapped to an amplification box from a 4-liter Dante olive oil can. Now, while it's permanently set in the key of C major, because it's made from an olive oil can, the Dantree was used by Nguyen as a tool to combat loneliness, and this instrument is impossible to recreate because it's literally custom made. Nickel Harpa. Originally hailing from Sweden, this instrument, PewDiePie, and IKEA are the only memorable things to ever come out of Sweden. While the roots of the instrument were scattered throughout Europe, what is not scattered are the numerous amount of keys hanging from the side of the nickel harpa. And while this instrument greatly resembles a guitar or violin, this 16-string 39-keyed chordophone was often favored in folk music. Now, there are only about 10,000 of them located in Sweden, and obtaining one outside of there is basically impossible. Now, once again, the labor-intensive process of making these instruments are one of the biggest barriers of entry to be distributed outwards. The Chapman Stick. The Chapman Stick was developed by Emmett Chapman in the early 1970s. The stick was a play on the guitar, being an electric string instrument that's played with two hands. Now while that's not the first thing I've done with two hands, it's a rather challenging instrument to take on, as the Chapman Stick is worn on the person rather than held. Now it allows the user to combine bass lines, melody, and chords simultaneously using the two-handed technique. Now this instrument being extremely hard to master and also costing a few $1,000s for such a niche experience makes it one of the lesser known instruments behind its much more popular variant. The didgeridoo. The Australian Aboriginal instrument is made of what koalas get high on, eucalyptus. Ranging from 1 to 3 meters, the didgeridoo is too large to actually carry around like a trumpet. Instead, it's stationarily placed while the musician blows their stinky breath into the open end. Now, the instrument is tied with Aboriginal culture, ritual ceremonies, and contemporary music, but I like to use it as a war horn for locking in on my calc exam. Now, the rarity of the instrument comes from the suitability of eucalyptus trees that have to literally be hollowed out by tiny insects called termites, and the fact that it isn't really feasible to walk around with a 1 meter long pole, of course, unless you're Drake. While there are many more niche and rare instruments out there, I feel like some of these are created for shits and giggles because they literally be calling anything an instrument now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please turn on post notifications and let me know what you want to see next. Goodbye. But you gotta put it